Today I'll show you how to add airbags to your Squarebody tow rig. We're going to be installing Air Lift's LoadLifter 5000 kit on this 1979 Chevy Suburban K20. Let's check it out. You know, being that this is a 3/4 ton, 8-lug Suburban, I've always planned to do some towing with it. But I learned pretty quickly that this suspension is going to need some help. A couple weeks ago, we loaded down the Suburban to head for the mountains, and we pulled a small aluminum trailer, single axle with a golf cart, and just a bunch of light stuff. And this bumper was nearly dragging the ground. It was squatting that bad. So I couldn't even imagine what it would do with like my Jeep on a car trailer or even a camper. So I decided pretty quick that airbags are going to be needed. So now we got her in the air, wheels are off. This is the bracket that comes with the kit, and it's going to replace that bump stop right here. This is the top mount for the airbag. To get this bump stop off, we have 2 rivets, one on each side, and there's the head of one. We'll get in here with a cutoff wheel. All right, I made like 3 or 4 vertical slits there. Put my pry bar in here and see if I can hammer it a little bit. It's loose. There we go. One more. Probably that way. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Grind these flush real quick. Now that that bump stop is removed, we're actually ready to install the airbag. It's a pretty simple install, really. We're actually gonna pre-assemble the airbag and all the brackets right here on the bench. My Suburban has about 4 inches of lift on the back, so I had to purchase one of these separately. It's a spacer just to bring the airbag up to where it should be. So you put it on the bottom bracket, and the airbag sits in there. I did measure for it just to be safe, but this is a 4-inch spacer, which is the same amount of lift that I have. Now you also have the option of getting just a straight spacer or one that has a little bit of an angle to it. I got the angled one, and you can see here on this bag already assembled, since the top bracket where it meets the frame is a little bit at an angle, it's not flat. If I would have got a straight up spacer, that angle would be even more. It'd probably be something like that. So to try and level it out, I got the angled spacer to kind of straighten this plane out here, and it should work pretty good. We'll assemble the bottom first. This is the plate that bolts on your axle. And then we'll put our spacer. It has a little notch in it so you know which way is front. Then we'll do our bottom plate. Now there are 4 holes here. We only use 2, but we want to use the front and back ones. That way the top bracket is in the right spot. Put the cup down first. It only goes on one way. The top of the bag has the hole for the air fitting. And we'll just snug them up decently tight. And for the top cup, make sure the hole here lines up with the air fitting spot. The brackets are stamped left and right. Now these we're not going to tighten all the way because this top bracket is adjustable and we need to mark holes to drill into the frame. Lastly, we'll throw on the air fitting and snug it down with a 1/2-inch wrench. Test fit. Now on the bottom here, we want to make sure we're off of the axle housing and stay off that brake line too. Looks like we'll clear the shock fine. Right there, the bottom should be good. Now for this top bracket, we want the airbag to be in line with how the suspension naturally wants to travel. We're gonna line it up with the axle spring perch, which is down here. And this top plate for the U-bolts is parallel to that. So we'll just kind of get it in line to be the same angle as this top plate. Right there is actually pretty good. And we have a little bit of an indicator right here. The front of this hole is kind of in line with that bracket. Push the bracket, make sure it's flush against the side of the frame, and we'll mark our holes. And this is where we're gonna be drilling into the frame. All right, get to drilling. Go ahead and center punch these first. Then we'll drill 3/8 hole. Bring it in. See how everything's fitting. Here we go. How's that far off? Can waller it out a little. Was able to get all 3 bolts started. So now I'm tightening the bracket to the airbag. See if I can get some hardware going here. It calls for 16 foot-pounds, which isn't very much, so we'll just take it easy. Top secured, and securing the bottom should be pretty easy. So we'll make sure it's totally against the axle housing. give the shock as much room as possible. And there is the slightest gap there, so it's not touching the shock. And we got these straps. See about that brake line. I don't think we're gonna interfere with that. So that is good. Same torque spec, 16 foot-pounds, so we'll just snug them up again with the ratchet. That ought to hold, and that brake line is free. Last thing to do is throw in this heat shield that they include. They only include one of them though. On mine, I do have dual exhaust, but it is a lot closer on the driver's side here. It's actually almost touching the frame rail, whereas on the passenger side here, it's a good ways back and pretty loose. It's like not even in there. I'm pretending like I didn't see that. We'll go ahead, throw this heat shield on this side. There's the heat shield, looks good. That wraps up the install here on the driver's side. We can now move over, passenger side, do the same exact thing. Cut off the bump stop, put together the airbag assembly, drill our holes, and mount it. Same exact way we did this side. All right, I got this side done, but I did run into a few complications. It's not as simple as the driver's side, and that's because on the inside of this frame rail, there's a bunch of hard lines, fuel lines, whatever, and they're right where you want to drill that hole. So I tried to move them out of the way, but then I nicked the fuel line when I drilled that one. It was leaking fuel, so I had to do a rubber line, but we're done now on this side. We're ready to route our air line. I actually did it on this side. It's really simple, just plugged it in, ran it along the frame, and then got a little Schrader valve that just comes right out the back here. We'll do the driver's side, I'll walk you through it. First thing, we'll get us a 5/16 hole. With our air line, we have the end right here, and we will do a nut. Try to make it the same as the other side. I went most of the way down. Then this little jagged washer, we'll feed it in. We got a rubber washer and a regular washer, and a nut. 1/2-inch socket, and snug her down. Now for routing, we'll take the route that all that wiring is doing up inside the frame rail and then along the channel. Feed that in there. So the airline came out with all this wiring. Now since the exhaust pipe is right here, I'm actually gonna swivel the fitting out of the way. On the other side, I kind of trimmed it like right here and just ran it to the fitting, but I'm gonna try to avoid the exhaust the best I can. So I'm gonna use all the length that I have and kind of loop all the way back here and then double back. And this is just one of those press fit airlines. Just push it in and it stays in place. So now I use a couple zip ties, clean this up. Forgot to mention that they include this little heat shield wrap for the airline. Probably just slide that up to where it's close to the exhaust right there. Clean all this up quick. All right, install complete. Now for a little test. So we're gonna inflate these things to 60 PSI and listen for any air leaks while we're at it. Fill her up. I don't really know how quickly it fills. Yeah, it's only 15 PSI. 30. Over 60. It's all right though. Max PSI is 100, so it is okay. Checking for air leaks. That's pretty sweet. I don't hear nothing. That is awesome. I'm gonna take them back down to 10 PSI, which is the minimum, but they have a cool little feature that if you do go below 10 PSI, there's a little bump stop built into it. I'll take them down to 10 PSI, get the wheels and tires back on, and we'll do a little real world test. All right, I hooked up to this guy's boat here, and it's not very heavy. It's barely putting a load on the Suburban, but it did come down a little bit. It's not completely level. It is maybe squatting just a little bit. So honestly, this wouldn't be too bad going down the road. Check these. Still have like 12 PSI. So we'll add a little bit of air pressure, maybe take it up to like 30 PSI. See how that affects it, see how it looks. Let's see what happens. See, that's 40 pounds already. About the same. And it did already go up, I heard it. And it already looks better too. So they wanted us to put 60 PSI just for the initial setup, but the max is 100 PSI. So that's a little less than half of the potential. But then again, pretty light load. Pretty excited to pull a camper with it or something and see how it does. Let's go up to 60 again, see if we get a little rake. See, that's a little bit past 60. It definitely looks good. That would look good going down the road and ride nice too. That's exciting. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for this install, guys. More tow rig mods to come on the Suburban, but I hope you enjoyed this video, got some use out of it. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.